David Owasi is the founder of Outreach Genius. If you want to get more sales on LinkedIn, David is going to help us use AI to get there. David, help us. Help me get more sales on LinkedIn, brother. Take it away.
Thanks, Mark. Pleasure. Super happy to share my experience with LinkedIn. I've been running my marketing agency now for 3-4 years now. So learned a thing or two, and I'm going to share everything. Well, not everything, but I'm going to share, I think, what is going to help you reach your goals, which is more appointments, more clients, more sales. And actually going to be two phases to this conversation. I'm going to talk strictly AI, but as we all know, we're still in very early phase. So there's not that many tools that are massive game changers. I mean, there are a lot of tools that are good, but I'll be sharing some other tools that I think will actually help, especially someone like Phil. I know Brian, like a lot of your ideal clients are on LinkedIn. So I'll be sharing some additional strategies you can use. But let's start off with the more exciting piece, which is the AI. So there are two tools I'm going to be sharing with you today. I'm going to share my screen now. The first one is my own tool, of course, Outreach Genius. So what this tool does came from my experience with struggling with personalization. So this is the extension here. We have 287. And Brian was kind enough to give us a review. So he got a client booking a meeting just using this tool. So I put the profile that matched my client. I let it to do its thing and create a message. 30 minutes later, I see the notification that a discovery call has been booked. So that's kind of like testaments to the fact that this works. But let me show you how it works. So once you install it, you need to go to a LinkedIn profile. And today we're going to use Phil for our example. So we're going to use Phil's profile. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open, this is kind of how to interact with it here. You want to open a profile for a specific profile. And then you want to click on this little button here. And the first thing is you want to describe your offer so that the AI can understand what you do and how that could be infused into the outbound messages. So in this case, we're just going to assume that we are a social media marketing agency. That's not my main business, but for this example, that's what we're going to assume. So who do you help? Online business owners. What problem do you solve for them? Build your online audience of 1,000 true fans who trust you and are ready to buy from you. And how do you solve their problem? By crafting tailored messages, strategies for you, and helping you create competent weekly and deliver compelling content weekly and delivering measurable results. And call to action is book a call. So of course you can even use ChatGPT to create all of this here, but you want to make sure it relates to your own specific offer. Okay, everyone following along so far? Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. How did you get to that place? How did you get to this building your offer tab?
Good question. So I'm just going to go again. You open a specific profile of a person, and then you click on this button here, and then you click on describe your offer for better messages. Just this little hyperlink there, and that's how we get there. Now, once that is done, that's pretty much it. So you want to then choose what type of message. So let's say in this scenario, I want to send usually you want to start out with connection request messages, and then you want to choose a tone of voice. You could choose, I like humorous because I love a little bit of humor. And I would say new connection, or you can choose any of these options for the relationship with the prospect, and then the length of the message. For some reason, our length is not working so far right now. We have been, for some reason, ChatGPT just gives us almost like the same length every single time. So we're working on fixing that. But the message has been very good so far. So you generate the message, and you can generate as many messages as you like until you find a version that you like and fits your specific goal. So let's see. So what the tool is doing is it's looking through Phil's profile, and it's using all the information available on Phil's profile to create a personalized message that you can then send to him. So let's take a look at what it says for a connection request message. So this is part of like one of the challenges right now is, for example, for a connection request message, there's a character limit, and usually we want to limit this, but that's something we're working on fixing. But here, my name is David, and it's great to virtually meet you. After reading your fascinating bio, I wanted to reach out and introduce myself. I'm a professional lead generation assistant, and I was excited to discover that we are on the same mission to restore honor to masculinity, faith in family, and pride in our country. It would be great to connect and share knowledge on how we can make that happen. I'm sure we have lots to talk about and could do some good work together. So let me know what you think. So obviously this is very customized to what you do feel, and if you saw something like this, like, oh, yeah, like, you're my person, like, let's connect, let's talk. So that's the first thing with the connection request message. And of course you can, like, shorten days and remove pieces that doesn't align if you want, or you can just generate a new message if you want a new version. So the next thing is building rapport. So once someone has accepted your connection request, well, you want to build rapport with them. You don't want to dive right into a sale. You want to build a little bit of back and forth, and that's what that build rapport message is all about. And again, the same process follows. It will build a rapport with them. So let's see actually what it's great, and then we'll do one more example with making the offer, and then we can move on to the next example. So my name is David, and I stumbled across your profile. I noticed your mission to bring honor to masculinity, faith in the family. All right. Faith in the family and pride in the country. That's really inspiring and impressive. I'd love to learn more about your mission and see if I can help out in any way. If you have a minute, please let me know when would be a good time to chat so I can learn more about you and your work. So again, this easily will be able to generate meetings for you, especially as this is customized to what Phil does. And everyone loves to be told about themselves. So that works. And then the last one I'll show you is the offer, which is probably what's most important for most people. Is like, how do I make my offer to this person? So making the offer piece here, again, is going to take in everything I have provided to it in describing my offer, and it's going to try and relay that with what Phil does and align both of those things together. So let's see what it does. And again, if you don't like anything it does, just generate a new message up until you like the version it's created for you. Okay, so sometimes we have some hallucination with the AI where it miscommunicates the offer and it thinks my offer is your offer and vice versa. That's another little small thing we're trying to fix. But in this scenario, it's done that. So I'm going to try and regenerate another message to fix that problem. Yeah, that's something our team is working on right now. So again, we're going to generate the message again. Maybe let's try. Let's see if it works this time around. But what it should do is it should describe. Okay, so this is clearly not working well. So it's supposed to look at my own offer. So let me just add something here. Buy from you, true buy from you. So SMMA, let's see that. And then if I should do follow up, and let's do make an offer, and let's do formal actually, and let's do friends. Let's see if that would wake it up.
So I've been actually working on this in real time, with your demo, and so I'm kind of interested to share what I've come up with here.
Please do.
How cool would it be to just go into the, just to come back in a day and say, hey, by the way, while we were in this chat, I landed some new business. That would be pretty dope.
That would be pretty cool. So for some reason, it's still not doing that on here. Can you share what you have set up there, Mark? What you like? Did you find any interesting result on your end?
Right. So first, this is someone that I don't know. I'm going to be sending them a connection request using the humorous connotation. This is a new connection. I'm keeping it short. And I had to kind of clean this message up just a little bit. But, honestly, I feel like this is kind of a numbers game. So I don't want to spend a ton of time making it perfect. Done is better than perfect, right? The other thing that I think is cool about this, and Bez and I, we were just talking about this. I know my voice. I built it up. I know my craft. I'm awesome. Well, your VA might not. So if you give your VA the criteria and give them a tool like this, I could see this helping. That's one of the reasons I love AI, by the way. It's turning people that are maybe a 1 or a 2 skill level into a 7, 8, or 9 skill level, which is really fascinating. So anyway, I built this out. I'm going to go ahead and send it. We're going to push send.
So with the send, if you're not connected to them, you will need to send that manually. So you can just do a copy and paste.
All right. So let's copy and paste this. Boom.
There you go.
It seems a little bit long to me, so I might need to play with that a little bit.
That's something that we are working on fixing. For some reason, AI ChatGPT gives it long all the time. So a few things to iron out for sure.
LinkedIn users, they don't like to be pitched to right away. I mean, if you notice in your inbox, it's really and I know that's part of marketing, but LinkedIn users have traditionally, and I don't think this is unique to LinkedIn, but on LinkedIn, it's or any other platform, is like you shake hands and say, hey, I want to get married. It's not something that is very welcome typically. And in LinkedIn, if you're going for high ticket offers, I think I would see more value if there was a component of this that was, and maybe I just haven't played around with it enough, that I'm more interested in just connecting and developing a relationship versus trying to sell my offer. Is that available in this by any chance?
Well, that's where the report message type comes into play. If you go back, Mac, and you look at the connection requests and building rapport,
okay, gotcha.
Prioritizes rapport, and then after that, then it will be to make the offer. So it goes in stages.
So Bez, while I definitely agree with your point, I feel, by the way, this rapport looks a lot cleaner. This, that build rapport option does look a lot less salesy. So I agree with you there. The flip side of this though, and I would encourage everyone out there not to fall into this trap, because I've fallen into this trap. When you never go for the sale, all you do is say, hey, it's nice to meet you. Let's stay in touch. You seem like a cool person. Like, what's the point of the outreach if it actually never gets to this is what I do. Are you interested? Right. So I feel like there's this balance of, when do I actually try to sell that person? Like, when's the right time? Because if you fall into the trap of never trying to sell, you're never going to sell.
Oh, okay. So I'll take what you said, and I agree. Okay. In fact, I love sales. I believe it's a very honorable profession. And when I started headhunting, I had to go get the business. So my personal development, I was always going to sales development training stuff. And so, but sales, traditionally, and now with social media, it's a lot more, but in the back before social media, you had to touch the person 7 times before the sale actually happened, right? So there is value in a little bit of the chase, right? Like, hey, I want to get to know you. But to your point, Mark, that way of thinking you can fall trapped to if you're not good with follow-up, right? So that means you have to take a step back and strategically pick, who am I going to target, right? Not just a list, but who. And instead of it becoming a cold outreach, now because you strategically curated, and you know who you're going to call and why you're going to call them because you curated that list, now it's really not a cold outreach. In fact, most people I would consider that cold. Most people are telling you, no, that's actually a warm outreach, because they need to hear from you. So that's just my 2 cents in rebuttal a little bit to not going after the sale, because if you don't have a follow-up system, then it's hard. I totally get that, where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well, the second tool I want to show you is one called Engage.ai. I don't know if you've heard about Engage.ai. It's really a really nice tool. It helps you respond to comments, it helps you to add comments generated by AI. So let me show you how it works. So once you install the Chrome extension, and we go to our home, there are a couple of ways it shows up, but it can show up in the comment section. So for example, here we have, let's find a post here. Let's see one that is a little bit longer. So this one here, for example. So if I click on the comments here, I can click on, this is the little Chrome extension icon of the Engage. So I can click on, say, maybe I want to make my comments be friendly, funny, disagree, congratulate, or question. So let me say congratulate. And then it's going to read the post this here, and then it's going to generate a copy that would be decent comments. So congratulations, Sabrina, and for the outstanding work to bring the best of RBC to clients and being seen as thought leaders in the community. Your participation and association has indeed connected RBC closer. So again, sometimes hit or miss, but at least it gives you something to start off with, and you can start to engage with people. So that was the second one that I thought would add a lot of value right away, to engage with people. Sometimes, to be honest with me, I'm very lazy when it comes to like just not just saying nice or just something like very generic, but actually like really going hard and sharing as much as I should be in comments. But I find this tool helps me with at least getting started with that process, and then I can modify and build up on it. So that's a good one. The last thing I'm going to show you.
How do you get to that? I'm not seeing that option on my thing here.
So you installed the extension already?
Yes.
And if you install the extension and you go to any specific comments and you just click on the comments, you should see like this little 3 icon, this little thing here.
Let me share my screen here, and maybe you can show me where I'm missing. So I have the extension here. I believe.
Oh, this is not Outreach Genius. Sorry, this is a new extension.
Okay.
So it's called Engage AI.
Engage AI. Okay, cool.
So that's all they do. All they do is all about engagement and being able to use AI to provide responses to comments. So Outreach Genius, our focus is mostly on how do we help you put your offer in front of the right people. It's kind of like our focus, not comments and stuff. That's a different focus. Can you still see my screen? Can you still see my screen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so the last thing I want to share with you for the sake of time is a tool called futuretools.io. Now, what futuretools.io does is it has tens of thousands, I believe, at this point, of AI tools, and they're constantly updating it. And this has AI tools in every domain you can think of. Marketing, of course, fun, productivity, text-to-speech, text-to-video. It has free ones, freemiums, a bit of everything. So if you're looking for something specific to LinkedIn, for example, you just click on LinkedIn in here. And then it's showing us 42 of 1,700 tools that are specific to LinkedIn, or at least has applications with LinkedIn. So for example, you got LinkedIn Manager here. This is a tool for recruiters. You got Commented.ai, almost like that one I showed, the Engage AI. You got the Paleo, a tool for AI, a tool for creating and managing LinkedIn content. So you got a whole bunch of tools specific to LinkedIn. But this also just has tens of thousands at this point of tools that you can use in any application. So I figured instead of giving you a little small pieces of tools here, I'll actually just share like the trove of where you can find everything. So I think this is a pretty big one. Does this make sense?
Yeah. I'm familiar. I want to kind of actually, I'd like to do like another example of this, of the Outreach Genius here. Just kind of do something in real time, the way I see myself using it from start to finish.
Of course.
And then let Bez rip me apart for all my inauthenticity. But listen, we're trying new things over here, y'all. We're trying new things. We're not doing whatever worked 10 years ago. I don't give a crap. I don't care what's working now. That's what I care about. Right. So let me just share my screen, and that's not completely targeted at you, Bez. That's targeted to all you YouTube listeners and viewers who are going to be like, Mark, what are you doing? Anyway, I digress. We're trying new things. So this is how I'm seeing it. I want to land new damn business. I want some new damn business. So what I'm going to do here is go to search, and specifically, I'm going to type in business podcast, because those are the people I want to talk to. I want to talk to people that have business podcasts, right? I'm going to come down here to people, and I'm going to click second, which is someone that I have a mutual connection with. That's someone that is like a friend of a friend, right? And I'm going to choose Tamar here, right? And I guess what I'll do here is I click our extension, generate message. And again, I don't know if I want to go straight, like you said, Bez, do you really want to make an offer and go straight for the jugular? I don't know.
You probably don't want to. Yeah, I would not recommend that as well.
Yeah, I kind of agree. That's kind of like, I think I agree a little bit more, Bez. I'd like to get your feedback on what your follow-up process is too, because I agree. I think that going for the jugular right away is maybe a little aggressive.
Except if you have something like extremely game changer, like they just have to hear it. Sometimes there are offers that are just just objectively really good offers and you can pitch it right off the bat, but most offers are not like that. You actually have to build a relationship. But I think Bez's approach is probably the best one here, which is try and kind of get a commission going and then pitch once it makes sense.
But to your point, not all offers are the same. So if you have, it's the go-giver mentality, the give and get, right? So if you're gonna make a pitch on the first, it's got to be really low ticket and or low end, but you're gonna give, the value you're gonna give is is 10 times more. Like let's say you identified me as a ideal target for the connection request and the pitch, and it's low ticket offer, and you're 10xing my value. I'm like $7, click, yeah, all day long, right? You don't need to develop a relationship with me because I don't care, right? You're maybe ascending me up into a higher ticket offer later, but that's not now.
I actually really love that you said that, Bez. It's got my creative juices flowing because I wanted, we create a landing page with like some sort of lead mag, like automate your podcast with these AI tools, just as an example. Then I can go here into LinkedIn, I can search for podcaster, and I can just send my offer at scale to dozens, if not hundreds of people. And then they could get something for free, join my email list, and then they can get tagged and segmented and move down my funnel accordingly. I think that makes a lot of sense. Why go for the jugular when you can offer something for free in the initial?
And I would encourage you, if you're not used to doing outreach on LinkedIn, do a little A/B test with 2 groups of 10 and do a small sample size, see how it comes back, and maybe tweak it based on your A/B test. But it's just like on any other platform, Facebook, whatever, they do larger A/B tests. But LinkedIn it's like a pot of gold. I don't want to blow it even on a expanded I'll do 10 and 10 and then I'll adjust from there because I might have blown my shot on those 20, right?
Right. Mark, I wanted to show something a little bit more practical skill from a skill perspective, because Outreachgenius is really good, but right now we don't have it set up, and there's not a lot of, actually there's no tool right now that I've seen that is set up for automation with AI. Again, that's something we're building to kind of make it scalable. But in the short term, I do have a system that I use, and I think, with Phil, and I think maybe even Brian, this would be something that would be really, really interesting for them to consider. Maybe Bez might not be too happy with it because we are, automating most of it, but I think I still want to share it. Is that cool, Mark? Just to kind of show.
Yeah, share. As long as we get to pick on Bez for his authenticity.
I'm the one that in HR that says, hey, what can you automate? And so we can replace. And they all look at me like I lost my mind. I'm like, no, because if you're not ahead of the curve, you're behind the curve and you're losing, right? So
100%.
I love this. So
okay, so let me run through this very quickly. And if you have any questions, especially Phil and maybe Mark, let me know. We can jump off chat here. But basically what we have set up a machine that reaches out to hundreds and hundreds of people every week and gets us a lot of phone calls. It's not the prettiest, but it does work with the way we have it set up. So the first thing is I have this tool here. It's called Ulink. It's an invite-only platform, so you won't be able to get access to it unless you were invited by a user. First thing we do is we load up a search, whether it's through Sales Navigator or just normal LinkedIn search. We load up a search here, and this is what it will look like. So we will name the search, and then there are multiple ways we can get the search. We can either put in a normal LinkedIn search URL. So just like that page you opened, Mark, we can just copy that whole URL link and drop it in here, or we can do a Sales Navigator search, or we can do a URL import where we just have a whole bunch of URL profiles that we want to target. And there's lots of ways we can do it. But once we load that list in here, this is what it all looks like. So this
hold on. Could you slow down just for a second, David?
Yep.
Where you were going back to before, can you slow down on that URL import?
Yes.
part?
So if we go into search and we go start new search here, so URL imports, you can have a URL list of up to 2,500 profiles. So you can either get that from like Apollo, from ZoomInfo, from anywhere you get data that comes with LinkedIn profiles that you've kind of selected as your ideal persona, and then you can load all of them as a link, as a URL, like just a whole list of URLs here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
And then
again, the question comes to, how do I get that list of profiles?
Yeah. So
Or
if
how do I
you
get the
go
list?
to a platform like Apollo.io and you actually got let's see. So if you log in here and you do like your normal search, so if you do your search here and you kind of put in all those filters, it's actually going to so for example, this one search here is going to list a whole lot of people here. And one of the data points you also get once you download it, and you get their LinkedIn profiles. It comes automatically, and you just isolate the LinkedIn profiles alone. And let me show you an example of one of the data sets here without getting off track too much.
Is that your tool or another tool, the one you're just showing us?
This Apollo, oh no, this is a
No,
big
not the Apollo, but the
Ulink. No,
yeah.
Ulink is not my tool. These are all built by third party. But what I've done is the way I've merged them all together is very unique to me and how I do it. So, but anyways, let's kind of move forward here. Once you've loaded all of those people, it will come in here. The next thing you want to do is you want to then set up automation conversations. Now, this is where it gets very tricky because a lot of people, all they do is they set up their automations just to pitch people, like what Bez was saying. That's not the way to do it. What we do is we set up our automations to begin conversations. So for example, I'll ask questions like, could you please share 3 key aspects of your business that I should keep in mind when referring people to you? Of course, everybody wants to talk about their business and what they're up to. So they'll just tell me all about them. And then I have an appointment setter, a VA, that will then begin the conversation and take the conversations going. But if they've not responded to me, then we have the automations that will then follow up with, again, it's just optimized for questions, just asking them questions so that they can begin a conversation with me. And then we have automation set up again to continue that conversation 3 days afterwards, 7 days afterwards, 3 days afterwards. And you can be as aggressive or non-aggressive as you want, depending on your own philosophy about sales and follow-ups. But when you were talking about follow-up, Bez and Mark, this is kind of what the best follow-up strategy is. It's just automate the follow-ups, but just have questions in the follow-ups to get people.
How much is this tool?
This one here is around, so I have it at agency. I have a few of our clients on here. It's about 80 or so bucks per month per user. So not expensive at all. But what I've done though is I connected this tool using API, using some API and stuff. We've connected it to Go High Level. You guys familiar with Go High Level?
I literally just had a meeting about getting my Go High Level account set up. So
okay,
it's
so
kind of serendipitous. Did you say connected the software? This reminds me of the connected software.
Yeah, so if I go into, for example, if I go into settings here, we have, this gives us Zapier webhooks, and it's automatically built into the platform, and it gives us like these webhooks here, which are like these little numbers here. And with this, I can connect it to Apex here. So this is like Go High Level but modified. But what we're able to do is we've connected it to Ulink such that when someone connects with us based on the connection request we send out from Ulink, it automatically creates a card for them automatically in here. And then when someone responds to one of those automations that we've automated to them for them to respond to, once they respond, then they are automatically moved from connected to replied here. So at every given point, I can see all of these areas moving, and my team, my appointment setters are able to see this in real time, such that once someone's respond, they know it's game time to start responding to them. And then we're able to then move them as we begin the conversations with them organically in the DMs. So we begin the conversations with them here. They actually don't respond on LinkedIn. They do all of that in here. So for example, this is where we do all the back and forth in here. We got tons and tons of responses. Then as the conversation evolves, then they're able to like drag and move this all across the sales funnel from, reply to not interested to interested up until they either become follow-up or sold or whatever it is they are in. That's the first thing we do.
We got to slow down just a little bit because you are just, I feel like we need 3 more
I have
classes.
questions too.
So I just want to kind of like 3,000-foot overview, kind of just contextualize what we're talking about here.
Yes.
So so first off, Go High Level is a CRM. It's a sales and marketing tool. So you can move people through your pipeline, manage your follow-ups, send emails. You can do a ton of stuff with it, right? Which is, it's super cool. I just signed up. I'm at the tip of the iceberg, right? So but what you're using is you're using Apollo to pull in leads.
That could be from any source. You could use Apollo, you could use Sales Navigator. There are multiple ways you can pull in leads. So whichever way you feel comfortable with.
Sure. So basically you're using some sort of tool. In your case, you're using Apollo to find a list of potential clients, potential prospects through LinkedIn by getting their LinkedIn URL.
Correct.
You're inputting that into Ulink, which is sending the initial message.
Correct.
The connection request.
Let me interject. Is it sending the message through LinkedIn messaging platform, or is it pulling an email and sending the message to their email? Because that's what I want to clarify.
It prioritizes a little bit of both. So it prioritizes sending them a regular message first. So regular connection request message first. Then we're doing 98 of those per week. And then it would go, once it's gone through this limit, it would then go emails. So that's like the cold email page. And then after that, it then does group messages. So I find groups in LinkedIn where my ideal clients are, and then I can DM those people in those groups because we're part of the same groups. And then the last thing it prioritizes invite by email once it's exceeded all of these limits. And then start sending out emails of connection requests. So you can do 1,000 of those per week. So that allows me to like reach out to so many people per week every time ongoing.
And there are, by the way, just as a side note to anyone watching the replay here, or heck, if you're here live, LinkedIn does have some rules, some compliance rules you want to check in on as far as using automations to message and DM. So just make sure you're compliant there. But then,
and this helps us make sure not to go over those, because we never go over 100, which is the limits that they have. So we're never having to break that rule, even if we wanted to, because the limit here is just 100.
Right. Although that could change over time. So just make sure you're double checking or speaking to an expert like David to make sure you're in compliance. Okay. So now that you're sending out your messages, you're integrating it with Zapier to the CRM.
Correct. So we have this. This is why I like the Ulink, and it's a really, really fascinating tool because they've done most of the hard work for us. All I just have to do is to create a specific link for me here. And then the way I have set it up, now this is not normal for every Go High Level, but where we set this up is that we're able to go do a Ulink integration here. So it's a little bit more technical, but what we're able to do is we're able to add accounts and integrate them here. So I go add an account, and then what I do is I provide the LinkedIn email. And then once I provide the email, I'm able to email, and then I'm able to make the connection. So with this connection here, all I'm just doing is copying the webhook code from Ulink that has already been generated here. So this is where, so I have 3 webhooks here. The first one is when a new contact connects with me, it gets triggered. That is what moves the person here once they get connected. So that's kind of like the little bridge there. And then once they've responded, once there's an incoming message, so they respond, then this gets triggered. And that is what automatically moves them from connected to replied. So there's a few things we've done in the background that makes this movement. So we basically do what we call workflows. So if we go into automation here, that's why Go High Levels can be complicated sometimes, but it's extremely powerful if you know how to use it. So this is kind of like how the workflow works. So when someone connects with me, this is what happens. So as soon as it gets the trigger from Ulink, so as soon as it gets the trigger from Ulink, it assigns that to a person here. And I have a whole bunch of users, and that's kind of what happens when someone connects with me. And then once they respond to the automation, it does, once they've replied again, we have this workflow that does a few things. So that should open up here. That does a few things. So in essence, in the opportunities tab here, when someone connects with me on LinkedIn, the webhook gets triggered here, and a card is created for them. Once they reply, a card is created for them as well, or it's moved from connected to reply. And then my team knows in real time who's connected, who's replied, and then we then move the rest of the piece manually based on how the conversation evolves. And then we can even do
basically with the goal of putting you on calls with people that are actually interested in more.
Exactly. So my appointment setters, what they typically will do is they will actually respond organically back and forth. So it's not automation anymore. As soon as they respond, the automation is only there to begin the conversation, and that's it. And then from there on, it's back and forth, organic, true back and forth responses. And sometimes they would use like the Outreachgenius to create like personalized messages for that specific person. But our goal right now is to integrate all of these things so that it's all AI driven, where each message going out to each person is not just one canned message, but it's all personalized. So that's the next step of Outreach Genius for us, is to make it more robust. But as you can see, we have the foundation already established here. It's just a matter of infusing AI into that piece.
Now,
You got my juice is flowing now, baby.
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
For me, I'm trying to reach candidates, right? To share an opportunity of my client, and I'm working on a really difficult search. We've outreached to over 500 people. We still have not found one person. We're going to try some new things, but it was very manual and tedious. I could see this flipping this, right? Instead of, from a marketing perspective. I mean, it's still marketing. I'm marketing an opportunity, but, reaching out to candidates, not to buy something, but to share a great opportunity with them. Yeah. So
absolutely. And that's what our clients, come to us for, is exactly what you've just mentioned, is they want to do that at scale instead of it very painful and repetitive. And you still don't want to spam people, which is why our strategy is somewhere in between, where the automation just is asking questions to get the other person to talk about themselves. And as soon as they bite that hook, then we have a real person really talking to them. But in the future, that real person will be an AI that will be doing the back and forth on your behalf, which we're pretty cool too.
Super cool. And I think one of the things it's a really important piece of the puzzle that I'm glad you went there, although you started to get very, very technical, but I'm glad we started it simple and then kind of went down the entire workflow, is that follow-up is really important. And I think that's where what is it called? Mighty hooks, I literally just started on the platform.
Or Zapier or high level.
High level, yes. The
go high level. Yes, go high level.
That's where the go high level comes in, because that gives you your entire follow-up process. It integrates people. You can put them into email sequences. You can tag them based on interest. You can send them to lead magnets, things of that nature. I think, for everyone everyone that's watching this, having some sort of way to manage your sales, I think, is really important. I think that that's something that I've really been neglectful on over the past few years. And now that I want to grow out this business, I need to have I've got the systems, I've got the product, I've got the services on the back end. I just need some more damn clients.
Yes. I forgot to mention this earlier, Mark, but we do have those drip follow-ups that you mentioned, where if someone connects with me after 14 days, if they've not responded to any of the prompts that I've automated and they just ghosted me for some reason, I put them into an email drip automatically. And it waits for 14 days and then it puts them to this drip, and then I can do email and text messages just to follow up on the fact that, hey, we are friends on LinkedIn. I sent you an email yesterday, and we can continue the conversation outside of LinkedIn if they're still not connecting with me or responding on LinkedIn. So that's one of the beauties of Go High Level, is able to even go outside of LinkedIn and start connecting with people based on the email with script from their LinkedIn profile. Which can be extremely powerful as well. So that was the last piece of the equation I didn't share on the follow-up piece, if they're not responding on LinkedIn at all. So very, very powerful tool. If you're curious to learn about this tool, I have some videos on my YouTube channel where I kind of went in depth on these tools and how they work. So just check it out at David Owasi, and you'll be able to learn more, or you can just reach out to me directly as well.
Cool. How much is High Level going for?
I don't charge for it because it's just part of my package, but I believe they have 2 tiers. I think one is $39 per month or something like that, and the other one might be $100 per month, depending on which package you want. But again, not super expensive, actually.
There's different add-ons you can get too. You can get like web hosting and special email benefits. So there's different add-ons that you can upsells that you can pay for based on what you need. Because to David's point, Go High Level it does a lot of different things. Some of I don't need web hosting. I already have a website, but there's different ways you can integrate it and so on and so forth.
Almost sounds like a Kajabi.
I haven't used Kajabi, but it's so funny. I'd never heard of Go High Level until a few days ago, when someone I really respect recommended it to me, because I told him what I wanted to do with my business. Just signed up for it a couple days ago. He signed me up through his account, and we literally I literally just got off a call with him. I got off the call. 3 minutes later, I opened up this call. And he was walking me through how to set up my Go High Level account. So it's funny. It's serendipitous that we're talking about it today, I think.
It's beautiful. There's a lot you can do, and you can heavily modify it. But I hope that gives a little bit of a taste of what's possible with automation, and AI will definitely change the game of automation and make it even more personalized, which would be cool. But yeah, that's it for me. And thanks for the opportunity, Mark. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, or you want maybe to ask how this could be specifically related to your own use case, I will drop my link in the chat here. You can feel free to just book a call, and happy to share all the stuff I know and give you every bit of support on how it can work for you. But I clearly enjoy this stuff. It's a lot of fun for me.
Really good. For everyone on YouTube, thanks for liking, subscribing. Links below. Join the next call. Invest in you. Ladies and gentlemen, any questions before we go ahead and close down today? Today was I think starting very simple and going really deep. So where y'all at with questions?
I would ask, I'm going to assume somebody like me who is lost, I was about to cuss, completely lost on what the hell you guys just showed. I'm going to assume that somebody like me who wants to focus on my intellectual property, my content, my messaging, if and when I am able to make more money, and I pay for a service, is that essentially what that I just saw? Would that be, I'm paying for a service, so somebody way smarter than me, like you, David, is setting all that up for me?
Precisely.
Because there's no way I want to waste my time learning. It would take me a year to speak the language you just threw on a screen, right?
So for our clients, that's it's just done for you. And frankly, you should not even care about what's going on in the background. What you care about is appointments on my calendar. But I just want to show like that's how we get to those appointments on your calendar. But yes, that would be like a done for you service we do for clients.
Okay. No, I appreciate seeing it, because I like with Mark and his podcasting, and I know there's a lot of behind the scenes, but it's nice to see it. I just, there's no way I would learn that. So, okay.
Well, I'll just say on the go high level thing, right? Like, so when you're building a business, not everything is as sexy as like, here's me on YouTube, right? There's all these different layers, but at least where I'm at with my business, I built out a really strong infrastructure. I have a lot of systems on the back end. I have a team. I have a services manager. Like that's all built. Now what I need is clients. And so what Go High Level does is it allows me to build out a much more formal sales, prospecting, and marketing, or let me reverse that, marketing, prospecting, and sales process and closing process, so that I can actually get serious about it. I know who I know who I want to sell to. I know where they are. Now I just need to create the formal process to sell them, get them into my infrastructure. So at least for me, step one was build out what I actually do and what that looks like. Now I'm in the process of, I need to fill the funnel with clients. And that's where the Go High Level comes in. You know what you want, you know how to sell it, you know what you've got on the back, and now you just need the formal system, right? So I think with what we saw today, with where we started, was like something that you can use at any level, scaling your messaging, empowering your team. And then David just kind of took you through his entire workflow of, from level 1 to level 10, right?
Beautiful. This was fun. Tracy, hopefully you don't feel too lost. You've been very quiet. Are you muted? Still.
Are you talking to me? Oh.
Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay.
Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So I was following along. Then I got lost for a little bit, and then I kind of jumped back in there, and I got into it again, but I got to go through it again. Nice and slow.
For sure.
You went a little too fast, but I'll check it out.
Sure.
And thank you for bringing it to us. I understand the concept as a realtor. I understand the concept of creating your clients, the email, and having it all organized. So on that end, yeah, I got it. My Wi-Fi is horrible, so where I am today, so I'm coming in and out. But thank you for the content.
Of course. I do have to jump off here, gentlemen, but this was a pleasure. I look forward to next week.
Thank you, David. Good stuff.
David, you're the man, dude. Thanks for what you do.
Appreciate it.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
guys.
Brian, by the way, as you start to like scale up your sales, like this is the type of stuff that, I mean, this is the stuff that Chase does. Chase has like, I was at State Farm, they had Salesforce. Chase has, I don't know what Chase uses, but
No, the same thing. Yeah, they've got a Salesforce platform.
right.
For
So
sure.
this is similar to Salesforce, what he's talking about with Go High Level, you know? So
Yeah, and just one final thought. I think the best thing we can do, even if we're not technical, is to map out our flow and process from A to Z. And that's when we get into these tools, we can customize it to what our flow is. And that's what I was going to ask David, you know, but I love to map stuff out and just to even get other ideas of, you know, what's a best practice or how can I do it better? Because, you know, things don't stay static, things evolve, Mark, right? I mean, I
Right.
may not be all high on the, you know, automation on my voice, but there's many pieces of what I do I'm really high on automation.
yeah, no, I thought all your points were very valid too. I think it's, yeah, I actually agreed and disagreed with everything. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if that came out right, but I thought you brought up really good points because you're right. You're very right. What I'm interested in is finding that magic sauce that allows me to use AI, use automation, maintain the authenticity, and be the first one there. Because if you're the first one there that figures that out, you're going to be able to have massive impact because there's people that are still doing all this stuff manually. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to break some eggs on my way to figure out that secret sauce, you know?
And Mark, I've been in some room 2 nights ago, 3-hour room. Man, there's some people that are thinking way beyond what we're doing.
Yeah.
Even to AI, like almost human-like. It just warps my mind right now. It's
The world in 10 years is going to be you're not even going to recognize. It's going to look so different. It's going to look very different.
I will just say I took quick notes and I'm going to use Google Doc because I'm old school, but I definitely need to, once I start DMing, I'm not ready to automate because I honestly feel like that shit would overwhelm me, but I could very easily identify 20 people, 10 people, put on a Google sheet, reached out, need follow-up, replied. Like I could totally do that on an Excel or Google Doc. So that definitely was like, okay, I'm not ready to automate, but I could certainly, if I pick 10 a day, I could start to build my own little funnel. And I think if I built it myself, then I would better understand an automation process, if that makes sense.
Well, you should start doing that too, Phil, because when you're ready to automate it, you're already going to have a list to upload. You can, so use Excel, you know, put in the right the relevant criteria, first name, last name, email, phone number, website, all that now.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to apply this, I have hundreds and hundreds of people that I've been building up over the last few years the same way. Now I can just upload it to the Go High Level now that I'm ready to take that step.
Yeah, I think that'll be something really positive for me is through the next week to build that, as now that I'm home, now I'm, you know, committed 3 hours a day to sit at the computer and I'm going to start the DM outreach process. So I do like his thing, but I'm like Bez, I'm very anti-AI because, you know, I want you to know it's me. I want you to know it's real. I cuss. I don't spell there and there properly. I fuck that up all the time. So, you know, it's me 100% legit. But it's definitely an opportunity. So I'm happy with that.
Phil, what even before you get to the Google Doc, I love what you're going to do with the Google Doc. If you're using Google Suite or any of the Google products, if you click on it where it says more, there's another program there. It's called Drawing. It's like it's like a Visio. I don't know if any of you.
I know how to use Visio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good at Visio.
Okay, then you know, but it costs, you know, it's a pretty penny, right? You know.
Yeah, I'm a project manager, so I have.
Oh, you have Visio? Okay,
experience.
all right.
Yeah.
So I love to map out processes,
Okay.
and I use Liquid Chart lately, but yeah.
No, awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone being here. I'm gonna go ahead and close it down. Great session today. Very technical, but I think at least opens your eyes. You know, even if you're not ready for some of these steps now, it at least kind of shows you the path what the path is going to look like as you move deeper, So it's very funny that you start talking about go high level, because like you, Phil, even yesterday when I first looked at it, I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah, when he pulled you link up, Mark, I was ready to leave the call. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh my God. I was like, there's no way. If you told me this was part of my job, I'd have to quit. Like, I can't do that, man.
But at the same time, like you said, you can, once you've got the business going, once you have income, you can, it takes money to make money, right? So you
Yes.
spend the money, you hire someone to set that up. Or you don't get overwhelmed with everything. You say, I'm going to just put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to start by cleaning my room. You just start with one thing. And then eventually you're like, holy crap, I built an entire city.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw the LinkedIn post today. One of the guys that's pretty good. And he said, work on the offer. Like to your point, Mark, clean your room. And it's like, that's all I need to do right now. I need to fix the offer. I have a good one, but it could be better. It could be cleaner. It could be simpler. And then go out and, like Bez said 2 weeks ago, get the damn sales navigator, use the filter, DM. Like, I just need to be there. Like, all the other stuff's a distraction right now. I don't have the offer and I don't have clients. I have 3 clients. I need more. So.
Well, I'm excited to see how that rolls out, and we're going to be here to help make sure it happens, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, and quick win. I'm going to meet my first podcast host, Jess Marshall, pretty decent sized show. We're having lunch to talk about the interview. So he's going to interview me that'll be my first interview. So that'll be cool to get back to the podcast,
Awesome. Love it. Love it. And you're just a side note for everyone. If you're looking for a way to make some money, I know I announced at 750. I bumped it up to $1,000, just looking at the numbers, the profit margins, the lifetime value. If you refer me someone that I end up either launching a podcast for or doing the month-to-month production, I will give you $1,000 if I land them. So you're looking for a way to supplement your income a little bit.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. I'll build out a more formal system. I'm building out a more formal system, but right now it's just connect me. I'll send you a check. All right, y'all.
Awesome.
Gonna go ahead and close it down. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys have a good week.
Good day.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. See ya.